Want to welcome everybody to the podcast today. Today's topic is, if you don't run the dental business, you don't know the dental business. Let me say that again. Everybody raise your right hand to the square and repeat after me. If you don't run the dental business, you don't truly know the dental business. I want to thank my good friend Randy up north for giving me that quote a little while back, and we're dedicating this podcast to you. Thank you, sir. Here we go.
Welcome, all of you fantastic dental podcast listeners, to the My Practice, My Business Dental Podcast Show, where we help dentists profit and thrive with excerpts from the clinical business of dentistry training here at My Practice, My Business. We'll be addressing and answering questions with current trends dentists and their teams face each and every day in their pursuit of this wonderful career we call dentistry. And now, the host of our show, the clinical director and president at My Practice, My Business, Dr. Rob Thorup.
I grew up in a family, a business. My dad owned his own business, battery company. It's been handed down throughout the family through the years. And I was so excited when I was out at University Pacific, and we were going to be given a business course. And the business course... It was an hour a day for 1 week, and that was it. So, yeah, you may know dentistry, you may be clinically excellent, which most dentists are, and you may care deeply about your patients, but if you are not running the business with intention and with clarity and with authority, then you are operating in a system you don't fully control, period. And in today's environment, that lack of control is exactly what's putting practices at risk all the time. The modern reality of dentistry, well, dentistry today is not just about hand skills and diagnostics. You know, the statement, if you do good dentistry, the money will follow. No. If you understand insurance contract literacy, if you have dental insurance contract literacy, you understand and can apply dental state laws, and you have business skills that you've been taught, and then you do good dentistry, the money will follow. That's how it is nowadays. So it's shaped every single day by those three powerful forces: dental insurance literacy, state law applications, and business system competency. If you are not literate in all three nowadays, then you are not running your practice. You are reacting to it. I can guarantee that. And reacting is not sustainable, my friends. You cannot draw from a dry well. So dental insurance literacy, it's like with that, either you can control it or you can be controlled by it. So let's talk about that, one of the biggest pressures in dentistry, and that's dental insurance. Too many dentists participate in insurance plans without fully understanding, one, how fees are dictated, and it has nothing to do with your fee-for-service fees being sent in, by the way. So stop listening to people who tout those. They're just lies, okay? They don't know what the crap they're talking about. Two, how write-offs affect profitability. By the way, our system, our My Dental Stats... We have two softwares, My Dental Docs, My Dental Stats. My Dental Stats shows what we write off each month. And we were teaching one of our advanced trainings a few weeks ago, just like 2 weeks ago. And we pull up My Practice. I'm like an open book. And we actually showed what the statistics were for April. And I can't breathe anymore. I'm choking up on this. And holy crap, the family write-offs that month. Yeah, I about died. And I'm sure you guys do too. Sometimes with all the write-offs we do, helping people out. I mean, I love helping people out, but sometimes I feel like we're taken advantage of by our family. I'm glad my family doesn't listen to the podcast, but at least I hope they don't. Anyway, and then how narratives and coding impact reimbursement. What does the ADA say about coding in the ADA ethics? They say code for what you do, but so many practices are afraid to do that. So narratives and coding, how they impact reimbursement. That's another thing we don't fully understand. And how plan design shapes patient behavior. Interesting. You know, you get the Kens and the Karens calling in, my AOB says this, my insurance rep said this, No, you need to shape the behavior. You need to understand the laws. You need to understand the contracts better than they do. When I say better than they, not the patient, the insurance company. And that's easy to do. Last one is how dependence erodes autonomy. What do I mean by that? Well, for me, I want to be a technologically advanced dentist and offering my patients the best care possible that my training allows. And I say that humbly because many of you out there have training in other areas I have no training in. So you're doing way better than I do in those areas, okay? So I want to make sure that my autonomy, that the insurance is just an adjunct to the autonomy of the type of dentistry that I want to provide. So those are things to think about. Without insurance literacy, that your practice will slowly lose control. And what do I mean by that? Well, there's so many people out there that think they know what they're talking about when it comes to insurance contracts and state laws, but insurance contracts by far, they think they know everything. And it's like when this office charged an additional fee for a better crown. That's illegal. They can't do that. I hear this crap all the time. It's like, no, why don't you read your contract? It's right in your contract that you can offer your patient's choice and charge for it. But there's all these people out there that think they know what they're talking about. We see them in the social media networking groups all the time. Okay? So schedules fill oftentimes when we deal with insurance, but the profits aren't there. Where's the profitability gone? Production increases, cash flow tightens. Why? Teams stay busy, but the business struggles. How does that happen? Very simple. They don't understand their direct operating costs per hour, and they don't understand procedural profitability. Two of the big things that we teach here at My Practice, My Business. And why does that happen? Because the practice is not being run by the doctor. You're reacting, doc. You're not running it. It's being influenced and oftentimes dictated by insurance structures that you, doc, you don't fully understand. And definitely front office team members, you don't understand. So when you run the dental business, you know the difference between participation and dependency on the insurance plans. I participate, but I'm not dependent upon them for profitability. No. They reimburse me for the least expensive professionally accepted treatment, but that is not what my patient should be given. They should be given choice. So no, I'm not dependent upon them. And when we run our dental business, we learn how to communicate value beyond insurance limitations, which is what I'm alluding to. And we know how to build systems that support profitability, not just activity. So you stop asking, what will insurance cover? I don't even care anymore. What will insurance cover? Will my insurance cover? Look, your insurance is going to contribute to your problems. They don't cover your problems. They just give you a contract. They're a coupon book, okay, patient? And that's how you need to present it to them. And start leading with, what does the patient need instead of what will the insurance cover? Oh my gosh, every time I hear a practice say, what will the insurance cover? It's like, you wonderful front office team members, you've been brainwashed to say it like that. Stop it. What does the patient need? And how do we deliver it sustainably using contract literacy and applications of state dental laws? That's the question you should be asking, and that's how you should be answering it. The next one is state dental law mastery, and I call it protection and power. Let's go deeper into that because this is where many practices are most vulnerable. State dental laws. They don't know them. In fact, one of our colleagues out in Ohio, who's a leader in their association, I was talking to him, and it's like, you guys have a non-covered service law, but do all your dentists in your state know how to apply it? No. I'm asking Idaho. I'm asking, Wyoming. I'm asking Arizona. I'm asking Texas. I'm asking Pennsylvania. What's really interesting is the associations, dare I say, the associations are not training them as hard and heavy as they should be. Right here in our state, Tracy and I are leading that education with the support of the association. But then again, in your states, you've got to have somebody who actually knows what they're talking about. That's a problem. I can't have an office manager extraordinaire who's been practicing 20, 30 years who thinks that they know how to apply the law if they truly don't know how to apply it. So it needs to be somebody who has the curriculum vitae to actually be able to speak from a position of authority to know what they're talking about, because many times they don't. I have seen the American Dental Association talk about non-covered service laws and actually have been given the answers given have been right on the money. So I do love that. Well, every state defines what you can delegate, how you can bill, what constitutes fraud versus compliance, ownership structures, scope of practice for your team. But here's the uncomfortable truth. Many dentists operate in gray areas, not because they intend to do anything wrong, but because they were never taught to fully understand the law. But when you run your dental business not knowing, that's not a defense, that's a liability. So mastery of state dental law does two critical things. One, it protects you from audits, penalties, and unattended violations. And two, it empowers you to maximize efficiency, delegation, and profitability within legal boundaries. I also want to say it empowers you from audits and penalties and unintended violations because you know how to push back. You know how to defend yourself. You're not walked all over. Because in the state of Utah and the state of Tennessee and some other states that have network leasing, down coding, and bundling protections law, the insurance companies can't say, "Oh, you're bundling," or you not bundling, you're unbundling. And you say, "No, we have a bundling law. You can bundle all you want, but you can't force me to write it off." I am proud to say that Utah is the first state that actually defined in state statute unbundling. That's something we're training on right now in all of the districts in the state of Utah. I wish every state would jump on that. I wish the ADA, we beg the ADA to define unbundling because they have defined bundling beautifully, and they state that it is potentially fraudulent when insurance companies do that. Well, we've stated unbundling and what the definition of unbundling is. So they can't tell us we're unbundling. No, we're actually charging for services we provide. And you can't call it unbundling anymore, insurance companies. Love it. Because when you truly understand the law, you guys, you stop practicing cautiously and start practicing confidently and strategically and sustainably. That's where the beauty comes into play. I was first taught about, Tracy and I, when we went to start passing laws, we actually met with Dr. Christensen, who was a state senator in our state, who brought on the non-covered service law in the state. What we found was interesting is we went and talked to him. How did you do that? We're looking to pass what later became House Bill 359, the Network Leasing, Downcoding, and Bundling Protections Law many years ago. How did you do it? Give us step-by-step instructions. Okay, and he lent us his expertise and knowledge. He was a retired dentist, retired from the state Senate the year we started. And that's how we learned. That's how we started out with the non-covered service law. But what was really interesting is Tracy and I quickly realized how many practices have no idea their protections with non-covered service laws and how insurance companies cannot force you to write off legitimate services using that law. Interesting. Next one I want to talk about, systems plus literacy equals sustainability. And you guys hear me talk about contract literacy all the time. Dare I say state law literacy too. And here's where everything comes together. You cannot build a sustainable dental practice on high production alone. No. You can produce as high as you want. If you do not have procedural profitability, you're just spinning your wheels. You can't build a sustainable dental practice on insurance dependence either. Not with the reimbursement rates that they give us. Not unless you want to make, $20 an hour as a dentist. Not if you don't want to pay your team more than a livable wage so that they stay with you and they don't hop jobs. You can't build a sustainable dental practice on hope-based decision-making either. Hopium does not work. And that seems to be a drug that everybody relies on if you just do good dental work, the money will follow. No, that's hopium. That doesn't work. And you cannot build a sustainable dental practice on incomplete knowledge. That doesn't work either. So sustainability, I'm telling you right now, requires alignment with clinical excellence. You've got to do good work, docs. Business systems, which we are taught to bastardize that all the time. Going to the dentist should be as easy as going to the grocery store. But some consultants out there, they just want to complicate that mess. We decomplicate it. Third one's insurance literacy. You've got to know insurance contracts. Don't rely upon the court of public opinion in the dental networking groups to teach you about insurance literacy, because I'm telling you right now, the large majority of them are so out in left field, so wrong, so misleading, misinformed. The misinformation highway is ridiculous. And then legal mastery. You need to understand the state laws that you currently have and push for more. Copy Utah's. This is not optional anymore, because the practices that struggle or fail are not the ones lacking skill. They're the ones lacking clarity and control over those 4 items. This is what it's come down to. And this is what Tracy and I teach on. So, and what do we teach in My Practice, My Business? The mission's simple but powerful. We teach dentists to actually run their dental business. What a concept, okay? And what does that mean? Going beyond theory and into real-world application. That's what it means. It means understanding the true impact of insurance on your bottom line and how to become profitable by procedure with every PPO plan you take, period. Is it doable? Yes, it actually is. The second one is learning how to legally and ethically structure your systems with treatment presentations that follow state laws and dental insurance contracts. You have to do it. Don't try to shortcut it. Don't try to buttercup it. No. Follow it. Training teams, the third one, training teams to operate with consistency and purpose so that everyone can be paid beyond a livable wage by taking the practice to a new level of sustainability. That's simple as that. Fourth thing we teach on is building financial awareness that drives better decisions, meaning team members fully understand business principles such as direct operating costs per hour and relating it to procedural profitability. So when they see the collections come in at $1 million plus a year and they think that you're rolling in the money, doc, you're not, because you are not profitable by procedure. The last one, the fifth one, is creating accountability at every level of the practice by giving ownership of leadership to everyone on the team. You're not giving them ownership of the business. You're giving them ownership to lead. When that happens, amazing stuff happens. This is not about working harder. It's about working smarter, legally, and sustainably. And the shift that changes everything is when a dentist becomes literate with dental insurance, confident in state dental laws and how to apply them, and disciplined in simplified systems. Something changes. It's amazing. They stop feeling frustrated with reimbursements. They don't care anymore. They stop feeling confused about compliance because they know how to be compliant and profitable. And they stop feeling overwhelmed by inefficiency. In other words, the doctor's mental health improves dramatically, period. And they start experiencing predictable profitability and stronger team performance. Everyone on the team pulls. It's so fun. And clear decision-making, not hopium, not guesswork. And they experience true professional autonomy. And this is what it means to run the dental business. It's that simple. So my final thought on this this topic, if you don't run your business, you don't know your business. It's very simple. And running it today requires more than clinical skill. It requires to run the business and know the business requires understanding the rules that I've just explained earlier and just mastering simple systems. Don't complicate it. Navigating insurance intelligently, not by every whim of statements that are out there, and leading with clarity and confidence on how to be profitable. Because sustainability doesn't happen by accident. It is built intentionally by doctors who decide that they will no longer be controlled by what they don't understand, and they will master it and lead their practices because of it. I feel like all of you need to, again, raise your right hand and repeat what I just said, okay? And when you reach that point, well, before I mean this. You're driving down the road, raise your right hand. Just people think you're weird. Repeat after me. I will no longer be controlled by what I don't understand, and I will master it and lead my practice because of it. End of quote. When you reach that point, you don't just survive in dentistry, you build something that lasts. In my practice, my business, we are the most advanced dental business training found in the dental industry. Those are not my words. Those are the words of the doctors that come through our training. Those are the words of dental association leaders. And our training is guaranteed, meaning if you don't increase in real trackable production, we don't get paid our tuition. You have to make $250,000 of new production, collectible production, before our tuition's paid. And then after that, it's all yours, except for $250, a big whooping $250 a month for our 2 softwares. And that gives you access to Tracy and I and our entire team 24/7. You should check out our guarantee on our webpage. Or better yet, just give us a call if you want and find out why we have so many 5-star reviews and unscripted testimonials from our colleagues. What are you waiting for, people? Let us train you. Let us help you. But at least run your business using the topics that I've taught you today. Well, I hope you all have a wonderful, fantastic day. Thanks for listening. Thanks for being a podcast listener. Till next time, we'll see you then.
Thank you for being with us today. Since 2006, My Practice, My Business has been teaching dentists and their teams business skills, dental insurance contractual protocols, and state laws governing how to profitably bill patients fairly for the need-based services they provide. What's more, we guarantee our training, unlike other dental consulting companies in the industry. Simply stated, if you don't increase your net revenue, we don't get paid. We call it dental consulting the way it should be. We believe there's never been a more important time than now for dentists to experience and implement our key methods, knowledge, and business training within their dental practices. To learn more about our guaranteed, no-risk clinical business of dentistry training that is changing dental practices for the better, just go to our website, mypracticemybusiness.com, and surf our pages for additional information about our company and the services we provide. When you're ready, give us a call and get scheduled for the most profitable dental business training that you will ever experience. If you enjoyed our podcast, please leave us a 5-star review. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to call us. Thank you again and have a fantastic day.